Hello everyone. This will be a short video about the installation and setup of a Summer Wave metal frame pool. So here we are. This is the pool. It is a Polygroup Summer Wave Elite. It is the model that has the light wicker basket pattern on the tub. I've had this pool. This pool has actually been set up about 2 weeks now, but I just got in it yesterday for the first time because I was filling it slowly and doing little things around it. So I pretty much took my time. But yesterday, I had the pump on. The pressure was fine. All of that, all the connections didn't give me any trouble or issues. I haven't noticed any leaks or anything like that in it. Anyway, far as putting it up, the assembly was easy. I think we had it up and standing in less than an hour for sure. I also had a Summer Wave last year that I kind of ruined. And the short story behind that was that at the beginning of the summer season, when I was starting to clean my water, putting in my algaecide and things like that, I realized I was out of shock. So I got this idea that if I crush up some of the chlorine tabs, I could just use that kind of like a shock. And it actually did help clear up the water, but the problem came when the bigger chunks that I didn't crush up too good settled to the bottom. They settled to the bottom and they just sat there. And chlorine tabs are really strong, so they sat there and they basically ate away at the liner. So about a week or so later, as I was cleaning the pool, I kept noticing these little white slivers floating around in the water. So I would get one and look at it, and if I put a little pressure on it with my nail, it would just break. And initially I thought it was a pool brush, but the pool brush was plastic and it wasn't breaking like that. So I asked my husband, what was it? And he was like, we got a problem. That's fiberglass, so there's some damage in it somewhere and it's releasing the fiberglass. So, we're going to have to take it down and so on. So we did, and so I was looking for another one, of course, and I found this one on Amazon. And as I said, it's the Summer Wave edition. And this pool, I actually like it. I like the way that it's set up compared to the one that I had, because your bar area here is more oval instead of round. And to me, that just kind of like gives it a little bit more strength. But along with the pool, I also ordered what is called a Gorilla liner, I think. It's right here. It's kind of dirty and grassy, but the edges. But it's made out of like a very thick felt-like material. I'm not sure what you call it, but we set that up under the tub, and that helps protect, because if you live in an area where the soil is really bad, sometimes you go through the motion of making sure you get out all the rocks and stones and branches and things like that. But once you get the pool up and start putting water in it, and once all that weight starts to compress, next thing you know, you feel a lot of lumps and bumps up under your foot. So that liner kind of helps softens that. And then, if there is a sharp rock or something like that up under, that liner will keep that rock from just sitting there and eventually wearing a hole in your liner. So it's a good thing to invest in if you're going to set up a pool. So what issues did I have? Like I said, we had a pool in this area last year, so the ground leveling, we didn't have to do too much with that, even though we could have done a little bit more with it. But we basically got everything to level, or almost in level, because I'm still off about 1.25 inches. This would be the low end, or the high end as far as the water is concerned, and that will be the low end over there. So I'm off about 1.25 inches. But anyway, what my husband and I done to, because yesterday it was a lot worse than that. And what my husband and I done is we jacked the legs up. Yes, we jacked the legs up with water in it. And we done that by, we took a regular car jack and a 2x4. And we took the 2x4 and we sat it on top of the jack and raised it up slowly until it sat flush like this. And I did have a rag on top of the 2x4 to protect the liner as well as the metal. But anyway, we set it on the jack and we slowly jacked it up until the legs lifted up enough to make our adjustments. And what we done, because we have it set up on pavers, and what we done is we put a paver that was a little bit taller than the one that was there to give us some lift, and it worked out fine. So right now, like I said, the pool is still off. It's not 100% level, but I'm satisfied with how it is, and it's actually such a easy adjustment that we'll go back a little later and kind of work on the other legs, but we're not pressed about it right now. So as for the pool, I really do like this pool. If anybody's interested in getting one, I would recommend it. Main thing being is start with a level ground in the beginning. You know, before you set up, you know, just get your ground as level as you possibly can. And anything beyond that, you can kind of bring it up to level. You know, some people use wood blocks or with pavers. You know, because like on some of these, I had to actually dig away and set the paver down. And on other ones, I had to add earth up under the pavers to give them height. But it didn't take a lot because it wasn't off that much. So, like I said, go ahead and start with the level ground. Because if you do that, you're going to run into less issues when it comes to getting it level. But you won't really realize where things are going or how things are going to settle until you start putting water in the pool. Because when it was dry and empty, you know, everything was lining up perfect. But once that water started going in, then things started shifting and we realized we needed to do a little work. But it was a lot simpler than it could have been. I mean, it was a lot simpler because we had a pretty level ground, because, you know, it can get really complicated if you're like way off. Another important thing is once you get set up and you start filling up, always do a leg check, because until you get enough water weight in the pool, the legs are going to shift around a little bit. So you want to make sure that your legs are vertical, meaning that they're straight. You don't want it to be leaning too far to the left or too far to the right. You want it to be directly up under that T-bar support where it connects at. And as well as it being vertical, you also want to make sure it's plumb, meaning the leg is not sitting inward too much or extended outward too much. So what I done that helped me with that is I use a little lever. This right here, it's a lever. And what I done to set up the levelness of the pool is I would go around and set it on the top of the leg like that. And my goal was to get that bubble in between those black lines. Didn't have to be perfect, but as long as it was in between those black lines, I was satisfied with that. And as you can see, it is. And also, along with that, you want to come along the side here. And you want to make sure that you get it fairly level there too. Because that lets you know that that leg is straight. And it's sitting in the right, correct position. It's not leaning too much that way, or it's not sticking out too much this way. So a little tool like this is a big help when it comes to setting up a pool, because with these frame pools, the frame is the most important part, because that's where that's actually what supports all of that water. So you want to make sure everything is in the best position it can be to be as strong as it can be to support the water and nothing happens. But other than that, you know, if you make sure you got level ground, keep your legs straight, you really won't have much problem setting this pool up. I had the pump on yesterday, you know. Actually, yesterday was the first time I got in it. The pump was pumping fine. Didn't have any issues. Hadn't noticed any leaks or anything like that, you know, since it's been up. And like I said, it's actually been sitting up. I set it up about 2 weeks ago and was filling it gradually. And I'm pretty satisfied with where the water is now. So, like I said, I haven't detected any issues, leaking, or anything like that. This is a good pool, and I really would recommend it if anybody's considering getting one, especially this time of year as things are starting to go on sale because we're moving pretty late into the summer. And the only other thing, you know, I've done a little work around the pool. These white marble rocks, you know, I just thought they would, you know, help the look of the pool aesthetically. So I purchased those from Lowe's to put around the pool. And I also purchased a few pavers and created this entry point right here with the pavers, also to help, you know, kind of keep the pool clean as you're getting in and out. So yeah, like I said, it was a pretty easy setup and installation. And like I said, if you start with the level ground, you know, that's going to make your job a whole lot easier. You know, if you run into some issues where you need to check the levelness or adjust the levelness, if you have water in the pool, you can do it by jacking it up as I described. But one thing about it, you just be very, very careful, because when you jack that pool up, all the weight of that water is pulling on it on this liner. So you don't want to keep it extended or suspended like that no longer than you have to, because you don't want to end up ripping your liner. And if you have to jack it up also, have everything that you're going to need right there at hand so you can move as quickly as possible. You know, because it is an easy adjustment, but it's one that could potentially be dangerous if you're not very careful and mindful of what you're doing. It is a way to help fix any little height problems, level problems you might have, but like I said, you just really have to be careful when doing that. Other than that, like I said, I love the pool. I had a good time in it yesterday. And another thing I like too, real quick, is the design in the pool. And as you can see, this is the bottom and size. It's got that tile-like appearance. I really like that. That's another plus for me about the pool. And I got you can see my little floaties and things in there. But yeah, this is a really great pool. It is, again, it's the Polygroup Summer Wave Elite with the light wicker basket pattern, because they have one with the wicker basket that's very dark also. So that's why this one is described as the light wicker basket. But yeah, I really like this pool. And again, if you have a pool and maybe have some little hiccups going on with it, maybe this video will help you out. Or if you're considering getting one, maybe this will help you make your final decision. It's a really great pool. You'll enjoy it. Your kids will enjoy it. Your family, friends, or whoever you invite to it will enjoy it if you get one of these. I highly recommend it. And on that note, I'm going to clean it out. And now that the pool has captured some shade, it's time for me to take a swim. Thanks for watching.